Okay. So there's been something sparked me to do this. I know I've been posting in a while. I've been busy. You know, working quite a bit as usual. Um, but there's something just got me thinking, and I make these to share my thoughts, and some things just align very well. Because mind you, I don't intentionally, at least not lately, because I've been too busy. I don't intentionally go out here to find this stuff, but sometimes I just happen upon it because I deal in the truth. And to be honest, more times than not, when you deal with stuff that's honest, true, reliable, real, it is what it is. I don't got to go looking for stuff like people looking to be lied to, you know, to try to prove their stuff. They got to go out and look for the most ridiculous scenarios and whatnot. What about this? What about that? No, no, this is just what it is. And I find it interesting the trick bag that has been handed out, especially to the ladies, because let's just be real, y'all the real ones that are suffering out here. Now, aside from the dudes that ain't getting it, the average, below average guys are simple. They got food, they got their game, and then let's just be real, they got a bonquisha somewhere that they all sharing. So they even got that. They got sex toys too. So let's just be real. Yeah, they might be out here complaining and whatnot, but let's just be honest. Guys are pretty damn simple. So their suffering is going to be significant. Well, as long as they're able to pay for it, which let's just be real, it does not cost that much. You can actually achieve that on 50 a year. Adjusting for inflation over the next few years. Yeah, guys can actually buy what it is that they actually need for that price. That game system, some food, a place to stay at, and then every now and then they might look up and get some. So guys are pretty damn simple. Their suffering is going to be significantly less compared to the ladies that want to go out on trips and do all this extravagant shit and the yada yada yada, right? So all in all, this current system we live in, I am aware that aside from the guys that'll go homeless, because let's be real, ain't nobody gonna be sympathetic towards y'all, the ladies are going to suffer the most. So I'm acknowledging the trick bag that they were handed. Thanks to the way society is. And I want to talk about that. So this is the crossover. Let's get into it.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
So the trick bag, right? Oh Jesus, can you shut up, please? If you guys aren't aware, we live in a system of capitalism. People want to call it democracy. Yeah, you can believe that if you want to. No, it's capitalism, right? And the name of the game is how much labor can you leverage? This is one of the reasons why slavery is so lucrative. You're literally leveraging the labor of people, hundreds, if not thousands of them, for free. That gives you an advantage like no other. Now, today we know slavery is wrong. We know that, right? Right, people? We know slavery's wrong, right? Well, capitalism says, yeah, slavery's wrong, so how can we tweak it? They're like, yeah, slavery's wrong, so let's tweak it to where it's not technically slavery, but we still want to leverage y'all labor. This is gonna tie into some of the videos I did before. Like I said, when you deal with the true, you don't gotta do much to try to prove your point. It just is what it is. I actually got to do something tying back to. I plan on doing a rewind video for lie to me, right? Because I want to kind of break down exactly what is a lie, because some people just think a lie is you just don't tell. I'm going to break it down later, but it also ties into that because that's very important, especially for y'all ladies, because y'all love lying so much, y'all like lying to yourself and then believing it. Like that's where the delusion comes from. So let's listen there. Most guys know today, which is why they complain about the family and marriage and all that bullshit. They know that shit ain't gonna turn out for the better. So let me get on this PS4. They essentially they just stopped trying. Unfortunately, that's why you got so many. Now some of them realize it and do better just to try to get a leg up, but they don't. They do just enough to do better. Some of them they just say screw it. What's the point? And then others, they actually believe the lie. And then those are the pawns that the ladies be using, right? But for the most part, most of the guys out here are unproductive. They're not as productive as they should or could be. Nature versus nurture, whichever it is. I mean, it's a bit of both. I mean, definitely nurture, let's just be real. Literally making a bunch of beta effeminized men, if I'm just being honest. Shout out to the single moms out there. But the reason why this ties together is this trick bag, right? That I referred to earlier. This thing where, oh, you can have it all. You can do this. Strong, independent, yada, yada, yada. You know the narrative. The same narrative the sisterhood has been pushing for since I've been born, for the last 50 plus years, right? That whole narrative, right? Yeah, it's awesome. Get out here and work. Work, ladies. Yeah, it's equality, yada, yada. Yeah, all that, right? Well, I don't think they understood what the trick bag was. I mean, Kanye, Ye, now known as Ye, but Kanye at the time made that song "New Slaves," right? And he literally rapped about what he was talking about when he said "new slaves," right? Of course, he had a bit of a breakdown when he was talking about that whole people being slaves thing on TMZ, whatever. Now, his stuff, if it was put in the right context, it would have been true. Where he would have said slave, the whole slave mindset thing, right? There was some truth to it, but in the context of what he was talking about, let's just be real. No, that wasn't the case. He wasn't in his right mind saying that. That was pure stupidity or ignorance, right? However, if I were to put it in the right context, a lot of people today think that just because they're able to get that job and they can afford to get the house and the car, that they think they're winning. They think they're doing well. I got some videos in the link where y'all can look at them. The authority makes it very clear that y'all definitely overpaying out here. Y'all slaving y'all lives away, and y'all will not be able to retire, which is something that I am very aware of. In fact, you go around a lot of these places, you see a lot of old people, don't you? Working. Yeah. I'm in a fairly decent area over here in Charlotte. And I go to the grocery store. I ain't gonna tell you which one. I go to the grocery store and I don't see little young things like when you go to a Chick-fil-A. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. I see what y'all doing over there. I see what y'all doing, Chick-fil-A, with all them young little kids y'all got over there. I see what y'all doing. They're kind of weird. All of them seem kind of have that same damn bubbly ass personality. I see what y'all doing over there. But you go to certain grocery stores and you will not be surprised to see a bunch of 60, 70, sometimes 80-year-old people working there. Oh, but it's not the type of people you think I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about white people. Bunch of 60, 70, 80-year-old white people working because they got to. Oh, yeah, y'all think all white people are wealthy and well-to-do. Nah, It's just that in this game they made sure to start while they was ahead, but what they didn't realize was it's shark eat all, meaning shark eat shark out here, meaning yeah they got by other white people. So yeah, see people don't want to talk about that. Oh yeah, most white people ain't affluent. Let me just yeah no they ain't. The largest population by far is poor. That's a fact. It's just the ones that got it got most of it. The few, the 1%. So that skews the numbers very well. Yeah, most of them don't got it like that. And as a matter of fact, even the ones that inherit it, which let's be honest, there are quite a few. As a matter of fact, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Let me do a story time real quick. All right. Let me find the right one. Here we go. So my mother, she's actually fairly well known. I won't say I'm gonna have to some tweak some stuff here just so people, I don't want people to know who I'm talking about here. But she works with some of these individuals I'm talking about. They live in the nice neighborhoods. They got the $1 million homes and stuff. They got the family with the 2 kids, the 3 kids, and the dog and whatnot. The big old TV on the screen, all the furniture and whatnot, right? And people just think, oh, they got it like that. The husband's a lawyer, this one's a doctor, the other ones, all the kids are in school and whatnot, and yada yada yada. Everything's great, right? Wrong. Come to find out, at least from her firsthand knowledge from working with these people, those houses are inherited. Oh yeah, there's quite a few. Actually, like I said, I'm trying not to give too much info, but there's quite a few $1 million home locations where the houses have been there for the last 30 plus years. They just kind of renovate the inside and tweak them and update them and whatnot. But those houses have been in some of those families for a generation at least. Back when you can actually afford them. And then of course the property value raised, and then they are able to leverage the house however which way. Sometimes it doesn't turn out for the better, and they lose the house. Sometimes they're able to keep afloat. And what I mean by that is tread water. Because from my mother's firsthand knowledge, and this is and this is very true. She told me about the situation about how when she does, like I said, she works with these people, for them, whatnot, self-employed. And she noticed how they got that big old $1 million house, got about 5, 6 bedrooms, whatnot, nice neighborhood and everything. And this one family, yeah, they moved in with the family down the street. Because apparently they refinanced the house because they needed the money to pay for the stuff that the car and the kids schooling and whatnot, and they're just paying back the loan that they put on their house, and they moved that other family down the street into their house to help pay back their loan, and then that family that moved out their house that they inherited, they're renting that house out. All of them living off credit. Now, you wouldn't think this. You would just look in the neighborhood and you think these children are all well off and well to do and whatnot. And now they do pay for their schooling and stuff, so they make sure to put the money into the kids. But let's just be real. If something goes wrong and they aren't able to pay that stuff back, they're living off of credit. Those parents now the kids might be well off because they got at least we hope so, right? Because they went to the better schools. They'll be able to go on to a decent college, get a decent job, right? But see, if y'all don't know how the cycle works over there, a lot of those people, what you don't realize is they've fallen off inheritance. Quite a few of them, actually. I know another couple, non-black, of course, got married in their early 20s, living in a $500,000 house. Oh, he must be balling, right? No, his fucking grandparents gave it to him. His fucking grandparents gave it to him. They're a married couple, in a house, $500,000 house with some land. Oh, they look picture perfect. Yeah, his fucking grandparents gave it to him. They could not afford that house at all. It was given to them. And from that knowledge, I'm learning that the wealth transfer is absolute. The wealth gap spreading. People out here balling or fake balling, living off credit, not realizing that things ain't going as good as they think, right? So they balling off of credit. They renting out their house. A family moved in with another family to help pay back a loan that they got, and then they renting out their house to help make ends meet. And when I heard that, because from the outside looking in, you think, oh man, they're driving that nice car that I know I couldn't afford, my people couldn't afford it. Then come to find out, oh yeah, that Mercedes is like 5, 6 years old and they bought it used. Yeah, it ain't new. Shout out to the people that understand the used luxury car hustle out there. Buy a 5, 6 year old luxury vehicle to try to look like you're doing well, and you're really not. You're just able to leverage your credit to the maximum to get a decent enough payment to afford it. Like I said, these people living off credit. Like they paying their bills. They check to check, paycheck to paycheck. They paying, yeah, paycheck to paycheck. That's how they living out here. And affluent, you think well-to-do white people. So why do I say this? So to put that in perspective, these are people that we think that they're well-to-do. They balling off credit, right? How about the ladies out there? The ones that were able to get the house. People think they went in. They got that nice car. I talked about that a while back. So how they can't. I'm like, okay, I don't know how y'all thinking y'all can be able to afford this, but I know y'all can't afford this. And sure enough, it's just a matter of time until the house is foreclosed on and the car is repossessed or some crap. You got people out. Shout out to the parking lot hustlers. You got people out here in the parking lot. A lot of me. You got people out here fronting in the parking lots. You ever see the people where they always in their driveway around their nice car? For some reason, it's always a fucking Dodge Challenger or Charger. I ain't gonna lie, them cars look nice, but let's be real. I mean, you can get one for under 30. I'm just being honest. You ain't really balling like that. But let's be real. It looked nice. It looked nice, right? But it ain't what it is. You go inside their house, they ain't got no furniture. That's why they always in the damn driveway around their car. That's why they always washing that nice looking car. They balling on credit, man. And I caught on to it early. I understood. I could spot the bullshit from a mile away. Like, yeah, some people don't ask the right questions. When I see somebody, oh, I'm out here winning. I got this house. I got this car. Okay, let me see the numbers. I want to see numbers because you could be out here winning. I know that I can go get $400,000 or $500,000 house. Yeah, I can go get that. I'm just being honest. I could. I can go put some money down on a Range Rover. I could if I wanted. But would it be smart for me to do that right now while I'm still in the building phase? No, it would not be smart. As a matter of fact, it would most likely set me back. And to be honest, all it takes is one thing to go wrong and a couple missed payments and everything collapses. If I'm just being honest. I think that Dr. Dre quote on that Kendrick Lamar song, anybody can get it. The hard part is keeping it, motherfucker. Yeah, living off falling on credit. Now, why is this important? It's important because of this thing right here. I was, flipping through the tube or whatnot. Of course, uh, stuff that's actually meaningful. I don't care about that gossip shit, right? I care about looking for stuff. I like to do it yourself videos, learning how to do house and tools, using house and some tools and stuff like that. And I happened across this video, Jim Rohn, where he does a speech on it. Was originally the speech that caught my eye was he was talking about risk, and I was like, that's very true. So I look up the full speech. It's in the description. Actually, you can go watch it. And this is what caught me right here.
Of course, it used to be a long time ago, right? When you ran out of money, got to zero, you were all through. Heck, now you can whistle right on by zero, right? I mean, they will bury you. That's what they will do.
Now, not too long after I watched that video, there was also another video where on the business, featuring Jason Black, the authority himself, and he did go over the numbers. Of course, originally he talked about how, most people, to be honest, are going to have to work till they die today. I'm already seeing that. And then he went over the numbers talking about how they overpay for their houses. And we already know they overpaying for that damn car, too, right? So I started thinking, I'm like, damn, there really was a trick bag that was given out, starting around the 1950s, 60s, right? And then leading up to now. And the one that, of course, took that trick bag by majority were ladies. Ladies at the time, the baby boomers, they went out of control, absolutely out of control. Bunch of men died off, and things just went to hell, right? So, you couple that with the nature of women, talk about women love to lose. Hate women love to win. And you couple that with the delusion, the false perception of winning, and then that quote by Jim Rohn. Because remember, back in the day, credit wasn't a thing. Credit is a fairly recent thing, actually, right? Of course, there was structure, but the credit that we have today, where they just give you free debt, pretty much, that type of credit, that's fairly recent. And it gives that false sense of I'm doing better than I really am, which, if you're following me, it does not work to the best intentions of women. Because, like I said, women love to win. And everything around them can completely be falling into debt and chaos. But they got that car, they got that house. Racking up a shit ton of bills, though. I'm just being honest. So I replaced that trophy with a car note or a house mortgage, right? Where that is their shining beacon of success. That car or that house. And yeah, that's it, pretty much. Then they might talk about how they went on this one trip. What they won't tell you about is they only went on that trip because of some sort of discount or something, right? Especially usually if it's like a really fairly decent trip, it's usually because of some weirdness like that. Or maybe they was able to get some dude at the time that they was dealing with to take them on a trip, and then he paid some of the bills. Remember, they usually can't get dudes that can pay all the bills. He can pay some of it, right? And it's just like, how far are they willing to take this thing? Replace that trophy with the debt, replace it with an IOU with the credit card. Oh dear God! Did y'all look up the study on the credit cards and how they talk about how it makes it literally, like, just like a person that likes to gamble, it makes it easier for people to spend money because you don't even have to think about it. You don't got to look at numbers. You just swipe that card and then you get the item you want. That is absolutely insane. in the hands of a narcissist, of a self-entitled person who thinks that they deserve it, even though they ain't worked for it. Because technically, that's what credit is. You can afford things, and I am stretching afford. I am really stretching that word, right? You can afford things that you ain't worked for yet. You didn't have to save the money up or earn the money to buy that thing. You just got a credit line and you bought it on credit. And then you don't even realize the true cost of that bag, the true cost of that car, the true cost of that house. And it's fucked up, but let's just peel back some things. Let's open that bag up, right? And that's the system of capitalism. So if you think about it, how it works, you leverage the labor of those under you. But it's changed. It couldn't work in a monarchy because, you got the king, you got the elites, and it makes it too obvious. It makes it too obvious that the people at the bottom know that they could never become the king, that they could never get to the top. That makes it too obvious. And that's why they got their heads lopped off. That's why revolution happened. Because you can't have a system where people at the bottom know that they will never get to the top, because then they'll start to resist and they'll start to fight. Well, there's an exception, unless you have a belief that tells you if you do your job well, you'll live better in the afterlife, unless you got something like that. But to be real, I'm talking about here in America where, Christianity seems to be the dominant, right? And Christianity don't say nothing about, well, at least how I hear it from people, they don't say nothing about that, right? People want they want some heaven on earth, right? So the thing about the system of capitalism, the reason why I say that ladies have been handed the trick bag is because it gives that hope that not only did they play on the worst parts of it, right? Shout out to Jason Black where he talks about how society today definitely plays on the worst parts. Those dark traits of female nature, and it absolutely exploits it to the fullest. And we are definitely seeing that in real time. Well, it also plays into capitalism. Because remember, you leverage the labor of those below you to make money from them. So they do the work for you. Because you can never do the work enough to earn greater income in the system of capitalism. You have to leverage the labor of numerous people, right? But you want to try to get the margins just right. You don't want to have to pay them too much. That's why I said slavery would have been lucrative in the system. You literally can get these people to work for you for free. Well, what if I can give you something where I combine hope with a job or something where you're actually earning something for your labor, but you don't realize that you're pretty much just giving it right back to me. And then some. Because remember, the modern credit system, it wasn't the norm. You had to work to earn the money to buy the things and the leisures and stuff that you have at a fair price, or somewhat fair price, right? Well, if you can indulge on things before you have to do the work, that leads into some negatives, some big negative character traits, because you're supposed to do the work to get the reward. You're not supposed to get the reward before you do the work. That's not how things are supposed to work. Well, shout out to the ladies out. They definitely utilize that system. As a matter of fact, the system plays into it. Let me tell you something else. During the pandemic, and this is a true story. And actually, if there's some ladies out there that can actually relate to this, I actually want the ladies to comment. I noticed something that happened. Now, I've been working on my credit and stuff. I'm above 700. I'm looking to get over 800 by the end of the year, right? I'm doing pretty well. But I noticed that within the past year, just straight out the blue, during the pandemic, I shit you not, in the middle of a pandemic, Now, my fiance at the time, now she's my wife. My fiance at the time, she had a credit card. She wasn't managing it well. She was paying the minimum payment only, carrying a balance, doing everything you're not supposed to do with a credit card. And then I go up there and I'm like, yeah, you wifey now? Yeah, we gonna have to correct all this bullshit right here. So yeah, so we getting her on track with her credit card. But you want to know something that I noticed just straight out the blue one day? I woke up, do my little normal thing because every week, I check all my numbers and everything, and then I realized, um, they fucking doubled your credit card balance, like straight up doubled her credit card balance, straight out the blue. She ain't asked for a credit raise or nothing, and it was a couple. It wasn't a couple hundred like y'all think. No, it was a couple $1,000. They straight up doubled her credit card limit, straight out the blue, and I'm like, what the fuck? This never, this has never happened to me. I had to, I had to ask for a credit increase. Now, mind you, I make twice what my wife makes. Twice, and I gotta apply for a credit increase, a credit limit increase. They taking out my income and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, here you go. We'll get a couple grand after I apply and ask for it. But no, they straight up doubled her credit card balance. And her utilization was definitely over 30%. Straight up doubled that motherfucker. And I'm like, hold up now. What the fuck's going on here? I did not know that they did this. I didn't know that they double your damn credit card balance just out the blue. I'm from what I've learned, from what I've experienced, they ain't never done that shit to me. I always had to ask them motherfuckers, and even then, they up here asking me for my damn, they looking at my teeth and shit. They want me to hand in a physical or something. They want to make sure my ass can pay it back. Oh, can you? Well, what's your income? What's this? What's that? Oh, yeah, I can afford it. Just give me my damn increase. And then they might increase it by like, you know, 20, 30% or something like. No, they straight up gave her 100% on top of her credit card limit. I want to ask the ladies out there, did y'all get a credit increase over the pandemic? Now, this was in the middle of the goddamn pandemic too. I'm talking about they was handing out the stimulus checks and all that shit. Everybody was losing their jobs left and right, and they just straight up doubled her credit card balance. Now, some of y'all ladies, I'm actually interested in knowing, did some of y'all ladies actually get did something like that happen to y'all during that time? And if it did, what did y'all do with that? Because mind you, I had to tell my wife, I was like, yeah, they doubled your credit card balance. She was like, what? And I was like, yeah, they fucking doubled your credit card balance. I've never seen this shit in my life. She ain't applied for it or nothing, just straight out the blue, just doubled it. And I made it clear. I saw some little glimmers in her eye. I said, yeah, remember, yeah, you ain't spending that. Nah, ain't happening. I had to put the bricks on that real quick. Yeah, that ain't happening. We gonna have to get this balance down first. And yeah, it ain't happening. So I'm actually interested to know if there's some ladies out there where that actually happened to you, where your credit card balance just straight up doubled, and you didn't have. And I ain't talking about a couple hundred. I'm talking about a couple thousand of dollars, just straight out the blue. They just double your limit. You ain't asked for it, nothing. You just look at your credit thing, and then you got twice as much on there than you did yesterday. That ain't never happened, unless I asked for it. That ain't never happened to me, just straight out the blue. Now, that coupled with the quote that I played from Jim Rohn, that coupled with the video put out there, and I am very interested to know if that has happened to any of you ladies, and if it happened to any of you fellas, tell me too, because I ain't never had no dude tell me that happened to him. It never happened to me, at least not that much. If it's a small credit balance, it might, they might double, 1,000 to 2,000 or something like. No, I'm talking about a couple thousand people. I'm talking about a couple thousand, tens of thousands. Yeah, let me not talk too much. But I'm talking about this straight up doubled, and I make twice what she make, and they just giving her credit. And then I started thinking, I'm like, God damn, this system really is fucked up because she's a female, they know that she's most likely liable to spend that credit to get into debt. and run them numbers up, and then she's stuck because she can't pay it back because I mean, let's just be real, she can't afford to on her own. If I'm just being honest, if she were to spend all that money, she already getting slapped up with some interest charges right now. She wouldn't be able to, not all that and then all her other debt. No, she wouldn't be able to. It ain't happening. If she was by herself, she would not be able to afford to. I'm just gonna tell you like that. She wouldn't. She would not. And it made me really wonder. Like, my God, like they really got y'all slapped upside the head with this damn trick bag. And it's like y'all can afford the stuff on the credit because normally you'd have to do the work to earn the money to buy the things that you really want, and then y'all just able to just get it. And then once you get it, if something fucked up happens and it gets on your credit, you don't realize that you be spending the rest of your life trying to pay it off. And then some. Next thing you know, that $45,000 debt turns into $200,000. That's ridiculous. And you trying to tell me that's not slavery? You paying that off till you die? And then after you die, they take whatever they can from you to pay off the rest of your debt. And if you don't got it, then they just, well, we got what we could out of it. And then they just write it off. Like, do y'all not know that's what the game is? Do y'all understand what capitalism really is? Do y'all understand that's the game? How if I am one thing, and think about this, if I'm one person, right? Let's say I'm making 150,000, right? I have to work to make that $150,000. I can leverage that money, but the way I leverage that money is, let's say and this is how the game of capitalism works. This is just a crude example. I have $150,000. I want to make more, but in order for me to make more, I need more time. I can't give myself more time. I'm one person. But let's say I have something where I have a new thing. It has a task. I'm already working my job, making 150,000. If someone were to able to complete this task, they would be, I would be able to earn 80,000, right? If someone were just to be able to complete this task for a year, okay, let me hire somebody and pay them 35, 40 grand a year. I'm paying them 35, 40 grand a year. They do the task for me. And on the back end, because they're able to complete the task for me, I'm raking in, the full 80, right? Well, let's just make it 100. Let's just make it even. I'm raking in the full 100. So I pay them off. I pay them, pay my taxes and whatnot. I earn extra income, and I didn't have to do the work. I paid somebody to do the work for me. And that's what people don't realize. You do realize when you go to work and you're getting paid to do a task or a job, you do realize that your company is leveraging your task and making more off that than you are. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work, because otherwise they wouldn't hire your ass. Or you're just a write-off. So, I am aware that there are some jobs where they're useless, and sometimes they just hire people to do dumb tasks just so they can have numbers on their books, right? I do know that's a thing. But let's just be real. I can use my money to leverage it to pay someone to get that task done for me. Well, what if I do that for either cars or real estate? I buy some cars, I loan them out to people, they pay me for the cars, I might repossess some, I get what they owe me, and then I resell the car. So I'm constantly making more and more money off the cars. And I don't technically, I don't have to do more labor. Like I said, I can always hire somebody to do those tasks for me if I need to, as long as I'm making more money from the task. That's how capitalism is supposed to work. But y'all don't realize how if I give out a $45,000 debt, I'm at risk for 45. But the person that's paying me back, by the time they pay me back, I done raked in $250,000. I mean, it might take 20, 30 years, and this is how banks, this is how they make their money. Technically they sell the notes to the, Fannie Mae and them, but that's technically, the interest rate on your mortgage. That's how they make their money. The bank isn't just giving out, that $200,000-$300,000 loan. No, they put that in a note, and they sell the note to Fannie Mae and them, and then Fannie pays them, and then Fannie collects the interest and everything from the payments. And you don't realize, I mean, Jason went all these numbers. You should go watch that video. It's in the description. But you don't realize, you paid $500,000 for that $250,000 house. And you're like, well, I mean, they did that over 30 years. Yeah, but guess how many people they did that to? So y'all don't even realize they running up the numbers, because they doing that to millions of people. Remember, these are big banks. They doing it to millions of people over time. And it's crazy because it's like y'all out here slaving away, paying these ridiculously high numbers. Like I said, that trick bag, and y'all don't even realize it. Some of you guys too, y'all out here trying to floss, paying for all these damn expensive ass cars and shit, chasing chicks. Yeah, well, but if I'm just being honest, we already know who holds the majority of the debts today. Guys are a little more reasonable when it comes to that, at least. Because I'm telling you, this trick bag, this debt and everything, this capitalism system, man, this thing, I'm telling you right now, I'm actually interested into knowing how they're going to utilize this for the coming male majority. Because this system today, it works when there's a female majority. It does, because like I said, it plays on their nature. Y'all just run up the numbers, and y'all don't even think about it till it's too late, and y'all just spend the rest of your lives trying to pay back that debt. Y'all don't. That's just how it is. As long as y'all get little indulgences here, you go on a little trip every so often, few years. You keep lying to yourself, telling yourself you're winning and doing great. Yeah. Just keep run me my money. Just keep paying me my. You can make that payment. Just give me my money, month after month after month. So, as I'm aware, and if anyone who's familiar with marketing, it is harder to sell guys things because guys are more reasonable, right? We don't like overpaying for stuff. We like things for a reason, things that actually have function in our lives. We don't like overpaying for stuff. Yeah, living in expensive states with expensive taxes. Yeah, that's why people migrating from California right now, if I'm just being honest. But this trick bag, and I ain't gonna lie, I am not going to lie. If I was not as reasonable person as I am, I thought about joining in on the fun, and I was like, hey, y'all out here just if I was, my motto is I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal. But if I was not as reasonable as I am right now, I would be running up the numbers. I ain't even gonna lie. And it would be so easy. Well, you know what's so crazy? Imagine that you go rob people, right? You go rob people. That's essentially what they're doing. They're robbing now. Imagine somebody gets robbed, and then somebody points to that person and it's like, hey, they robbed me, right? And then the person is like, no, they not. Imagine somebody lying on your behalf. That's how crazy it is today. Because I literally got out here in the street, told chicks like, hey, you overpaying for that car. Like, how much you paying for that car? You paying $450 a month? Yo, you paying for like a Mercedes. That's a Mercedes car note. She driving a beat up hoopty, a freaking '09 Ford, paying $450 a month. I'm like, that's like you paying a Mercedes car note, right? And then she would turn around and be like, I got a car. I'm like, I'm up here telling you they robbing you, and you protecting them? Yo, I'm telling you right now, it's crazy out here. It's crazy. It's crazy right now, and the ladies don't realize the trick bag until it's too late, and that's the worst part about it. And then that's really when they lie to themselves the most. The delusion. All these crazy old ladies calling in talking about they winning, and then you run the numbers and you realize, yeah, you ain't renting, you just lying out here. They just out here lying to me, really. You know, they out here lying and shit because they don't want to acknowledge that they lost. They don't lie to themselves so much. They think that just because they got a house that they still paying on, 60 years old, still paying for a damn house, still working, talking about they win. And I'm telling y'all, it is not just the black. And of course, white society catch a cold, black people catch pneumonia. I get it. It's usually compounded in the black community. It's always worse. That's just how it is, right? But I'm just like, it's getting bad out here, people. I gave the scenario. Yeah, those are well-to-do, so-called, and I'm putting this in quotation, so-called well-to-do white people living off credit, paycheck to paycheck. One family moved into another family's house. Both of them inherited their homes. One of them refinanced, so they paying back the loan on it. If it were not for them inheriting it, they would not be able to afford to live there. If I'm just being honest, they wouldn't. And they just one incident away from missing a payment, and then they gone. That's literally how it is. What's the studies? Like the majority of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. That's very much true. I believe it. People up here sitting in a $250,000 house. They got patio furniture in their house. Think about that. On the outside, it looked good. They all on the gram. In the front yard, of course, with the house, with the charger in the driveway. They got patio furniture in the goddamn kitchen. So I'm gonna have to talk about this later. I don't want to go on too long. But I just have to talk about this trick bag real quick. And how some people just like lying to themselves so much. And I definitely got to do a rewind on that lie to me. I'm definitely going to have to do that because I want to talk about the different levels, the different types of lies. And like there's levels to it. And I'm just going to try to break it down where it's like, okay, this is level 1 line, this is level 2 line, this is level 3 line. And then, of course, at the top is delusion, where you actually start believing your damn lies. It's powerful. But ladies, like I said, that credit card thing, if some of y'all during the pandemic, y'all know good and damn well you ain't apply for no credit. I mean, shoot, your credit card probably slapping you upside the head right now as I speak. But did your credit card company increase your balance? Without your consent, they just straight up doubled your credit card balance out of the blue. I want to know. Like, I really would like to know, because that shocked the hell out of me when I saw that shit. I would really like to know. And if you're fella and the same thing happened to you, let me know in the comments, please. But thank you for watching. And till next time, folks.
お前はもう死んでいる。